And basically what we did was just talk about different issues related to women and our battles throughout life and the battles of other women that aren't as privileged as ourselves that live in third world countries.
Girls start dating, you know, like having
Yes. So I think the fact that we talk to other girls and their opinions about themselves as women are very complementary because it kind of shows all the different perspectives that we have and how we think about ourselves.
Hi, today is February 16th, and we are gathering together to start the underpainting of the canvas. We are drafting these paints and deciding whether to change it to something else or not among ourselves.
This one actually is for like the poke in my ass.
Melanie had mentioned about Spivak. I wasn't very much aware of the writer, but now I am, and it really interests me how like can the subaltern speak. And we are not actually so much subaltern because we're quite elites in our country. No wonder we are here. But we have faced prejudice. We have faced I don't know, discrimination because we're women, because sometimes we're from third world countries. Yeah, we are looked down.
But you know, I was reading the other day how like feminist movements, most of them, they criticize each other and they attack each other. Like, you know, like sometimes we're all just women here, and then like a woman, like a young one, passes in the street with like an old man. We're not gonna say, oh, cool, maybe like try to think. We're gonna judge her. We're like, oh, that's gross. Oh, blah blah. And I was reading, why are we doing that? Because they are women like us. Why aren't we like, you know, like connecting and like joining the, you know, kind of thing? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
For me, it's really hard to define what you want. Like, what do we want? We don't know that.
I grew up in this family. I still feel like the women are treated differently, but at the same time, I'm not saying it's in an inferior way or anything. I think it's a cultural thing, a huge cultural thing in Brazil that women will do the kind of like domestic work.
It's just embedded in society because you can't really separate. There's violence, there's religion. It's like the largest Catholic nation in the world, Brazil.
Like, for example, in my dad's family, that they don't have like maids. All the women will do the work. My mom's family, everyone has a maid, but all the maids are women. First of all, carry the baby. So, like, naturally, like biologically, there is a big difference. And then I think it's hard to isolate and separate what's like social and what's biologic, what's a result of like natural, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I think education is very different in South American countries than from here with respect to women, because, well, first of all, for higher socioeconomic status women, in my experience, I went to school and I had to take classes related to home maintenance and sewing and cooking. Meanwhile, guys were able to do classes related to wood cutting and things like that that women weren't allowed to take. And in a lower socioeconomic status, I think that women don't even have the opportunity to go to school. They are kept home and they help their mother, and it is a lot more important for the boys to get an education because they don't really see their girls having any opportunities in the future.
It's completely social.
Oh my God, in Guatemala, in my class, like we had a clase de manualidades, which is like handcrafts, and the boys had a class of wood things. Wood shop.
In Guatemala, I really wanted to play soccer and baseball, and just because of the fact that I was a woman, then in those days, in my days, they didn't have any teams to be able to play.
When I was little, I really wanted to play soccer,
that was like about 10 years ago that I would say, oh yeah, I want to, study medicine. And they would be like, are you sure you want to have a family? Like, you're not going to be able to have a family and be a doctor at the same time. Because of all the beliefs that, that men are the chosen ones, that has actually made women second-class citizens.
No, that like Catholicism and a lot of like the Christian, well no, mostly Catholicism, like woman was created for man. Man was lonely.
She was created from his ribs.
Yeah, man was lonely, man needed company, so God was like, oh, let's make a little companion.
All South American countries are predominantly Catholic or Christian, and they follow the Bible very closely.
Yeah, why are we even alive? Thanks to man, because we were created for him. So like a woman is there to serve her husband.
Right.
They expect a woman just to be for the man and to please the man and to cook for him and clean for him, and that's their sole purpose, and it is a law of God, so why challenge it? And if you're a woman and you challenge that, you are seen as sinful.
It's a matter of developing an awareness of women's position in the world, or mostly in our countries, and doing something about it, or at least with that awareness already there, we can take a position different from just being passive.
She was sexually abused by 2 of her cousins, and she came out about it. She told her whole family about it, and like, did they even question the cousins? They didn't. They just called her a liar and a whore, and they like banned her from the family, because it's a lot easier to just say, no, that didn't happen, you're the whore, than actually accepting, yeah, our cousins are sexual predators.
In my country, in Colombia, people from low stratas, they live overpopulated, so there's way too much people in a small space, and that has led many times to sexual abuse, especially with children and women in the houses between families. So that's a problem that we experience in our countries.
But in Latin America, no. You get raped, you're reported to the police, they won't do anything. So
No, because even the police, they sexually abuse a lot of people,
I learned so much from like other people talking and from others experiencing, and it's really like crazy when sometimes like I thought that was funny, because people actually want to talk. People want to talk about these things, and they never do because they don't have the chance to say it. And sometimes when you ask, they have so much to say about those things, and then we were there, and then people were saying all this intimate stuff, and we're like, whoa. And so it was kind of crazy. I found out a lot about so many people. I found out about sexual discrimination, about how
no, it's the head of a dolphin.
no, it's a bird.
Look, it's the head. Oh my god, it so looks like a dolphin.
It is a dolphin. It is a condo and a bird, not a dolphin.
What is it?
I've learned a lot being in Canada about because there's not such a clear division between women and men, and I find that whenever I go home and I really clash with discriminatory and really machista ways of thinking. Like sometimes I have crazy fights with my dad when I go home, and I mean, okay, yeah, his way of thinking, yeah, he's conservative and that's the way he was brought up, but maybe he can change it, and I always try to do that, even if it's a tiny change, even if it's if he's not used to picking up his plate and putting it on the table because he thinks my mom should do it. Well, if I tell him that his hand is not going to fall off if he gets his plate and if he starts doing that, that's some change. It's not a huge, it's not an impact to the world, but it's just like putting him in a different place, and I think that is important.